Hey, shalom, shalom. Manak na waha ay bor inshallah hawlakim la atam. Call Shabawai Bahar Chawa Kakshaw Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shab Ma'amath, which is truly a with Hebrew Israelites coming to you week in and week out through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shad. I preach to you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indian Sages, as life owners, Nachamatham, Kaya, Amalakwat Hashemayim, Korah, repent ye, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. Call Layim La, Yahweh Bahasham Yahweh Shab Bahasham Kodash Wa Mashana, Kabadim Zukoim Nawa, Wa Malakim. Shaw Yashla Zukoim Chagada Wa Chasad, Wa Shalom, Wa Barakim Laha, Bacharim Shawha. Gawaya Shal Shalom, so all praise to the Most High Yahweh, which means he exists, Bahasham, and the name Yahweh Shai delivers. Double honors to the elders and apostles of Israel, the elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and mercy, peace, and blessings to the elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom, which means peace. All right, this is an article on RT. It reads, it says, soldiers from Battle Group Ram and their French armed forces in New Caledonia conducting a weapon familiarization at Townsville field training area in preparation for exercise Talisman Sabre or Saber Slot. All right, and it says which I'm presumably I believe that it's talking about the U.S., but then it says the French armed forces. So presumably the U.S. and France. But it says U.S. has built up military stash for a potential Taiwan war. You know, and it's no coincidence that the across the country you see like the different you see like on the train tracks they got the different vehicles. All right, they got different freight trucks or 18-wheeler trucks. On the back of them they have like the Humvees and stuff, and that's pretty much because these countries are mounting up for war. It's a lot. But it says Washington has stored hundreds of vehicles in Australia to boost logistics in the region, the news agency has reported. The U.S. used last year's largest ever joint drills with Australia to create new stockpiles of equipment in the country in preparation for a potential conflict with China or Taiwan, Reuters reported on Wednesday, citing sources, which when you go into, the nations that Esau is pretty much in the forefront of, or which he heads, a lot of these nations have, they are pretty much the leading producers of weapons. I'm gonna get a quick precept. All right, this is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. All right, and that great sword, all right, going back into the point, that pretty much in the Edomite nations, they pretty much are the leading producers of weapons, and that's because they use those weapons to take peace from the earth. But right now, in this present moment, everybody is mounting up for the WW3. So it says, according to U.S. officials interviewed by the agency, the war material was stashed during the Talisman Saber exercises last July and August. The drills, which were held in and around Australia, involved more than 34,000 troops from 13 nations and focused on boosting combat readiness and logistical capabilities, which 34,000 troops, come on now. That just shows that everybody is mounting up for war. Let me get a quick precept real fast. This is Ezekiel chapter 21. We'll get verse 9. All right, and it says, Son of man, prophesy and say, thus saith the Lord, say a sword is sharpened and also furbished. It is sharpened to make a sore slaughter. It is furbished that it may glitter. Should we then make mirth? It contamineth the rod of my son as every tree, and he hath given it to be furbished that it may be handled. This sword is sharpened and it is furbished to give it into the hand of the slayer. All right, which ultimately those going into the ICBM missiles, you see, but these nations are mounting up with their nukes, you see, but then they're also mounting up with the troops, like we see right here. So it says the equipment from the exercises included 330 vehicles and trailers and 130 containers stored in the southeastern part of Australia. Reuters reported it added that in the event of a conflict, this would be enough to supply about 3 logistics companies with a combined strength of 500 or more soldiers. Alternatively, the equipment could be used during future drills or to deal with a potential natural disaster, which is saying potential and possibly and stuff like that. But these things are happening as we speak, All right, it says numerous officials interviewed by the news agency cited logistics as a weak spot in the U.S. military, which China could exploit in the event of a conflict, potentially by bombing, refueling ships, and jet fuel depots. Such tactics, the officials warned, could allow Beijing to hamstring Washington without having to engage the bulk of U.S. forces, which hamstring, that goes into, like, if you pull a hamstring, that's like your power right there, like in track, or like football or anything that involves sprinting. If you pull a hamstring, that cripples you pretty much. So it's saying that Beijing can cripple Washington without having to engage the bulk of the U.S. forces, which that wouldn't really, in doing that, and then also engaging the bulk of the U.S. forces, that will pretty much be complete weakening of the U.S. as a country, because right now this is the weakest point, one of the weakest points, or this is the weakest point that the U.S. has been. They said that they pretty much had the lowest count of soldiers, or the lowest count of troops starting in 2024. All right, and they can't retain and they can't recruit. So a draft has to come. It says the Chinese embassy in the U.S. did not directly comment on the report, but told Reuters that Washington would stop enhancing military contact with the Taiwan region and stop creating factors that could heighten tensions in the Taiwan Strait. The rift between U.S. and China over Taiwan has widened in recent months, fueled by Washington's arms sales as well as visits by senior lawmakers to the self-governing island. Beijing regards Taiwan as part of its sovereign territory, which it was at one point, and has denounced U.S. contact with Taipei as meddling in its internal affairs. All right, and I'm going to get a quick precept because this goes into Habakkuk, the second chapter. This is Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 5. It says, "Yet also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home. Who enlargeth his desire as hell, and his death cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people." So it says, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man. The scriptures say that he is the soul that is lifted up in him is not upright, roughly paraphrasing. It says, neither keepeth at home. Hey, this man is involved in everybody else's affairs, just like in ancient Rome. Pretty much their downfall was that their military was stretched too thin, and that's the same thing that's going on now. So that they're stretched too thin, and then also they don't have enough people. So that's a weakened country. So it says, who enlargeth his desire as hell, and is his death and cannot be satisfied. Which is where hell ultimately goes into the grave. All right, and going into pretty much how let me get another version. It says NLT. It says wealth is treacherous, and the arrogant are never at rest. They open their mouths as wide as the grave, and like death, they are never satisfied. In their greed, they have gathered up many nations and swallowed many peoples. So their mouths are as wide as the graves, and the graves, is, if you was to dig like at a grave site or something like that, it's a deep hole, so it's just pretty much showing that he's insatiable. He's an insatiable man. And insatiable means he has an uncraveable appetite. All right, so that's why it says he enlargeth his desire as hell, and is his death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. Pretty much the point that they're going down in the same fashion as ancient Rome did. All right, because it's the same nation of people. All right, Edomites, so-called white people. So it says, Beijing regards Taiwan as, well, I already read that. It says President Xi Jinping has said China is seeking peaceful reunification with the island, although Beijing has not ruled out the use of force to achieve this goal. Meanwhile, U.S. President J.B. pledged in 2022 that Washington would defend Taiwan if there was an unprecedented attack, but insisted that his country is not encouraging independence for the island. So pretty much they're trying to play, they're trying to save everybody, which that's gonna work to their detriment. So let's get a precept. Let's get some precepts. This is Matthew chapter 24. Let's get verse 1. It says, "And Yahushua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahushua said unto them, I'm sorry, from verse, verse 5. It says, Matthew 24 and 5, "For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many. Pretty much going into how it's going to be a lot of false messiahs, false anointings that pop up, saying that they were sent by the Lord. It says, and ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, but for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet. And it's wars and rumors of wars. Pretty much rumors of wars going into I'm going to this word for rumor. I'm going to go into the word for war. It says a war, a fight, a battle, a dispute, strife, quarrel. It says a single encounter or a series. All right, and then I want to go back, which has been a lot of those. It's been a lot of hearsay, a lot of reports, all right, a lot of rumors. That was pretty much the point. It's been a lot of hearing a lot of rumors of troops mounting up and going to battle with each other. All right, and it says, but the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines. All right, the UN came out with an article, if I'm not mistaken, a couple of days ago, but said that pretty much the famine is at its worst, at this present moment. And pestilences, all right, you got the DX, all right, you had the 19C, 19 Charlie. It says, and earthquakes, there's been a lot of earthquakes. It says in diverse places, all these are the beginnings of sorrows. All right, so pretty much this is the beginning of sorrows, which we're heading up into Jacob's trouble, you see, which it's gonna get worse before it gets worse, and that's why the apostle coined this year the hopeful year of Jacob's trouble, because things are popping off. Things have happened since the 1st of January. We're in the 1st of February, so things are going to continue to ramp up or amp up, you see. So I don't want to Zaza about Naya Pa Lord's will. That was a beautiful edification through the spirit. Water on Tazah. Atham Yash like a lot to Wab. A Lord's will. You all have a good night. Hey, call Layim La Yahweh Bahasham. Yahweh Shah Bahasham Kodash. Double honor to the elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught me this truth and rule well. And much respect to you bros out there pushing this truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Shalom, shalom. Why Yahweh Mahar La Bachayar Yom. A Godspeed to the elect. Shalom, shalom. Halay Latawab. Good night.